Tyrese Haliburton also having a career year. Just to list off the stats that he's having so far, 23.5 points a game, 4 rebounds, almost 12 assists at 11.6 assists per game. 50% field goal percentage, so the best on this list. 42% three-point percentage, and he's shooting an astounding 92% from the free throw line.
And I know it's been 13 games, but like, for example, today there's a stretch when Tyrese Haliburton, like, let me just read this off real quick, right? Haliburton assist, Haliburton 3, Turner 2, Hallie free throw, Hallie 3, Hallie 2, Hallie 3, Hallie assist, a 3, assist, a 3, a 3, 2 free. Like, he has the ability to just take over the game, scoring and passing. Like, he can just run it and go over and over and over. And I think there might be an argument for him by the end of the year, or a year or two further down the line in his career, like Thomas said, maybe he could be a number one guy. I think he was for sure a bona fide number 2. And the way this season has been going and the dominance he's shown, like, maybe we should start having that conversation and start watching for if he can be the lead guard on a title contending team.
Yep. I 100% agree. I think he's the only one that could be a number 1 option on a legit perpetual playoff contending team. And, we might start having discussions with Tyrese Haliburton of like, okay, where does he rank against Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, the bona fide young superstars of this league? I think he's already better than Ja Morant. Hot take.
That's
maybe.
fair.
Maybe I just hate the Grizzlies. But can shoot the ball better. He can facilitate better, and he doesn't get suspended. So I just think Haliburton. What I really like about him is he can be the hub of an offense, similar in the way that Nikola Jokic does. Okay, he's more Jokic, less Luka. And what I mean by that is he always seems to make the right play. And when his team needs him to score, he can score. Somehow, some way, he always finds uncontested shots. It's not like he's taking these crazy step back, contested shots. He's just in the flow of the offense because he is the offense. He's like he's a mini version, less fat version of Nikola Jokic. Less dominant because he's not as big. Can shoot a little bit better, but you know what I mean. He takes after that style of play, and we know that can win you a championship. So he is by far leaps and bounds better than I think anybody on this list, but he really has potential to be a top 10, maybe even a top 5 player in the next few years, especially if he can keep up this success. He just needs to get to the playoffs. He needs to have that breakout series, and then we can start talking about that. But he has that potential, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like how you say it kind of plays like Nikola Jokic, because he does throughout the game try to make the right play, the right pass. If he's open, he shoots it. But then, like I mentioned, that little run he went on today, they were down by 10 when he did that. So kind of like Jokic, or like all these better players, when they need him, he steps up and he comes through, but he doesn't force it like at all throughout the game. He lets it come to him, and if it's needed, he brings it. And then if it's not needed, no need to force it onto your team and your teammates. Just trying to play good team basketball, feels like.
One of the best players affect the game in all facets. He's a strong on-ball defender. He provides you length on the floor. He's a threat off ball too. You can't just leave him alone. Great shooter, facilitator. He'll impact the game no matter what's happening. He's the type of guy that, there's some players in the league, if they're having an off shooting night, they're not going to impact the game very much. And I kind of compare him a little bit to LeBron in the sense that he is aware of everyone around him at all times. So make the right play no matter what. And he impacts the game in terms of winning the same way I think LeBron has and LeBron does. And so that's the closest alliteration I would do. I think the Jokic comparison is great too, because he doesn't need to score a bunch to help you win games. Even though he is capable of it, he'll kind of do whatever's asked. But I look at his all-around game, and I compare it a lot to LeBron James and what he's done early on in his career.
And I mean, speaking to that, it's just, I was so close to being like, man, I don't know who I'd take between Luka and Haliburton. It's very close. Just because Luka is a better all-around player in terms of what he can do by himself. But Haliburton raises the ceiling and the floor of your team because he gets everyone involved, right? Luka averages 10 assists because he has the ball 24/7 in his hands at all times. And the style of play in which he plays is the James Harden archetyped. And that never works. We've never seen it work. Maybe Luka will be the first player to make it work because he's that special. But the way Haliburton plays, we've seen that work time and time again. The Magic Johnsons of the world, the LeBron Jameses of the world, the Nikola Jokic's of the world. Those are the guys that are always ending up winning the championship because they improve their teammates. You know, Buddy Hield without Tyrese Haliburton, not one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Right? You know what I mean? It's like Steph Curry, even though Steph Curry impacts the same way. Are we talking about Draymond Green without Steph? No. You know, it's that type of player that improves your team by making the actual players get an overall 2K boost. You know what I mean? So that's why I love Tyrese Haliburton. I'll buy all the stock you give me.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the big difference is too with like these LeBrons and Jokic's that we're mentioning. These are players who look to make the right play first, right? Compared to a guy like Luka or Harden, it feels like they're looking to score, and then when the scoring option isn't there, then they look to dump it off and pass it. Then they look to move the ball, and they look to do it themselves first and then hand off the responsibility if they can't do it. Whereas like a guy like Tyrese Haliburton is trying to make the right play first, and whether that's scoring or passing, he lets it come to him based on what the defense does, and he reads that and makes his decision.
I think that's a great point. There's two types of assists. There's one where you drive and you don't know what to do with it, so you kick it out to somebody on the corner and they hit a three. Well, there's one where you're throwing it to them to set somebody up for the best shot possible. And Haliburton is the second type of player. So I love that you brought that up.
Yeah. So I didn't go as crazy to say as, but man, did I want to.